Hello, good afternoon, trader. Welcome back to my channel, Forex Black Box. Quick recap of today. Today is the 24th of July, 2020. Quick look at the market, S&P 500 on the daily. We see that looks like this resistance level is going to be a failure here, and probably will come back to the range of this level. I don't think we're going to see any trend soon until we get out of that coronavirus. So in my opinion, I think the market is going to play up around these levels for a while. So if I put back my range, I would like to do that range now. It's from this high to this low because we have a failure down here. Okay, that's the range, and I'm going to change it to a little bit light color. I hope that's okay with your eyes. So what we see here, guys, with this is the resistance level. We bounce above it and we'll come back. We are below it now today. So I must suggest that he's gonna do that for a while until come back near the low of that range. That there's a lot of stuff going on, and coronavirus and US and China and all the stuff. You just keep adding to the scale of momentum down is in the play. At least one more leg down halfway before we get anywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to as well a line in the middle here, right, roughly in the middle, is actually aiming for this low as well here, as you can see it. Let me just zoom in, squeeze in, squeeze out. Here we go. So we have this line in the middle, roughly in the middle between the high and the low of the range. That's where you can short it. You can exit here, and you'll be looking for another opportunity to one push more up or down. But today you see that day is going down really rapidly. I was in the market today. It was a good day, but I was not on SPY. I was Nasdaq. Nasdaq was keep going down and come back up now. By the time it's almost 4 o'clock p.m. London time, almost 11 o'clock New York time. So it was a good trade. It was a good day today of trading, and yeah. So I think we're gonna come back down here and come back up. I don't see all-time highs will be hit sometime in the coming days. We have a trend line as well here. Looks like it's broken. Yeah. So we retest it overnight and we're coming back down now. Let's see how the day gonna close also. See the 20 moving average. Probably we're gonna retest the moving average before we close today and bounce back up. The following day probably gonna open with a gap near the middle of the channel or the range. The range define the range by last swing high, last swing low. I take this one out of the range because it is a failure. That's something as well you need to learn. You don't need to uh, count that as the whole range. It doesn't make sense because below here, behind in the back, if you look left, there is that tried us to break the support that become a failure and continue back up at this time, pull back to the breakout level and continue back up. So on the daily itself, looks like we're gonna U-turn back down here, retesting and continue back down. Nasdaq, Nasdaq is keep going down. We have a double top, one push down, up, down, and we out of the channel now. A strong momentum down, but we hold this support for now. Let's see if it's going to hold for longer than what we're expecting, or is going to keep going down. But keep in mind as well, if the stock going down, probably Nasdaq is going to follow. We have a range level here to play with, so probably I will be looking for to play that range in the coming days. There's a range here. I will just take the body and I will be watching that range in the coming days or next week. See whether or not we're going to get a failure inside and so on and so forth. I'm also going to draw 50% of it, at least halfway roughly. That will be, and change the color to blue, something we can notice it. And that's what I'm seeing now. So we bounce off this support. Let's see how the day gonna close. If the day closes red, probably the following day it was gonna continue back down to the middle of that range, come back up again, and we will see one more leg down. Probably gonna be a failure, come back up, continue back up. Nasdaq, normally you buy Nasdaq every dips you buy it, but if it's China and US start playing that game again, if you remember last year they did that, and the market was very very sensitive to this stuff. So stay tuned with this. Keep your eyes on the news. Keep your ears listening to the news. Sometimes you miss some news, you don't know why the market is moving. You could trade it, but after you finish your trading, you should recap and see what happened exactly, why the market moved down. Gold just keep climbing back up. Yesterday we touched 8 years highs and we going higher. I think the 2000 very soon now. I've been talking about it for a while since we were in here, even before COVID-19, and we went down back up. That's the glitch. If you remember, the glitch of risk off and on has been switched, so we're coming back up now. Even well, gold should be look, if his gold is risk assets, we should see gold already 1925, 1950 around here today. But it's not. It's just sideways because dollar is strong. It's still going down. Think about it. It's still going down. Dollar is strong because everyone cashing out. They don't go to another asset because there's a risk coming to the market. Back then, there used to be gold. The one is facing that and yen, but as you can see, that gold didn't really move much. It's supposed to be up there if it's a risk asset, but it's not. It's acting on behalf of dollar. If the dollar is weak, then it will climb. If its dollar is strong, it will go down. So at this point, even dollar is strong. If the stock going down, even without me looking around, if the stock going down, dollar is taking the cash, you guys. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Bitcoin, you see that Bitcoin coming back down as dollar strengths. So what we have here, we have a swing up, probably come back down, 20 moving average, and continuation is quite interesting because we have a double bottom here. We try to break out of the range. So also there's a tiny range here. Let me do that one more time here. There is a range around this level right there. So we break out of that range. Let me just zoom in so you can see. We break out of that range. We test it once, we test it twice, but we still have a red day. So probably we're going to come back down. It's going to become a failure, big one, and probably we're going to not go too far. Watch the 20 moving average, 50% of that range. What happened here? 20 moving average will be nearby. Then probably will come back up again. If everything work well with the stock, if the stock going back up, that's mean dollar getting weaker. Then you can buy, you can sell dollar against Bitcoin. Oil is still in this range, guys. You see that so many times now. I've been talking about it. You see that we are near the end of the month, and I don't see any value to buy any contract now on the future contract because this keep testing the 20 moving average very nearly now, like 1 to 3 days. And previously here, we didn't really break a new ground. We have a failure here above this line, so probably continue down. Is that range? That's going to be the play. That range here, I'm gonna keep the range all one color so we know. There you go. That's the range. I can extend a little bit, but I like this low and this high. We'll try to break above it. We have a failure here, come back down and come back up again, break above it, and it's slowing down now. So as soon as that we see that below the 20 moving average, we're going to see sell off big time until we come to certain level like a 50%. Probably will come back up again. That's another range, but I don't want to make the chart busy. Dollar index coming back down as well. You can see dollar index. I saw dollar index is going to be strong, but it looks like it's weak on the day, and the stock is going down too. We just popped up and actually stock went down and coming back up again now. So if we look to the hourly, see what happened here. See that bounce back up, been rejected and continue back down. That's momentum could close today as a failure. So let me just draw that as well on the hourly. I have it on my terminal, but let me do it here. I didn't have it here. I don't have it here. So I like to take that low by this low and leave it like that. So what I'm looking for a bounce back, and I will be counting this as a failure. It doesn't look very interesting because it's very easy to spot. So I don't think it's going to go too far. Like this one here is a failure. This is a failure. Middle of the range is your target all the time. You can mimic this by trading dollar, USD, sorry, Euro USD. There's a range as well here in 1 hour. If I draw another line, the reason I'm doing the hourly because I know that I'm talking on the daily, but you need to see the bigger picture, the smaller picture as well as a bigger picture. So I have this range here. I didn't count. I just come in the middle between the highs and low of this wicks. Now what we see possible failure. What was indicating probably will come back down again. We'll try to challenge the lows of the day. So today I think that was the day. So yeah, just watch out for non-follow up of this momentum. We'll be looking down momentum. Also, remember this is a Friday, so there's not much of open new positions in the market. in my opinion. So far, euro keep going up, right? So even the 4 hour looks like it's going to be a failure. We have about 3 hours left of this one candle. Look interesting. It looks strong, but let's see if it's going to actually close below this one, and the following 4 hour will actually decline, come back to the 20 moving average. On the 4 hour, if you trade in 4 hour, daily of course is different. We already touched the minimum moving average twice. And by the way, that's the 20 moving average. The symbol moving average actually. That's a symbol moving average, is not the other ones. It's just the first option is just the default really. That's the most reliable calculation. It's nothing to do with the moving average or what you're preferring. The difference only is about a little bit higher or lower. It depends if you have momentum or down momentum. But all of them, if we come near that, you see that it's acting as a support resistance most of the time. Like here, start accelerating away from it. That's a good buying. Start to magnet back to it like a magnet. That's when you trade it short and you stop until you break out range, come back up, look like a failure, come back down, another failure down, and you go back up, and we repeat. We're repeating the story again. Cable, we see cable on the daily first. We see that we're trying to change its highs. Don't forget that is a resistance level here. We're just above it. We have a failure earlier, a few about a month ago or more, and we're possibly going to have another failure here if dollar start to take in the side of safe haven of the stock. If stock going down, then probably see cable coming down as dollar become strong. So far, guys, there's two things going on at the moment. Major things going on: coronavirus, second wave, and U.S. and China trade war, Cold War, whatever you want to call it. But there's something new always coming up. So that's what's coming in a roll now: the second wave and the U.S. Trade war, 5G, and UK is dealing with that as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the market. So I suggest that sideways is very much you'll be hitting UK and US or the stock market. There's no one. If you're an investor, see like there's not really the good time to trade now big money. We can play with the small money just to cover the cost, but the huge money in the market is not in the market because we didn't really achieve new higher highs on at this moment in the stock market. So everything is quite flat. The money is still in the bank. There's nothing been brought or sold yet. It's just the reflection of the market just moving around at the moment. So yeah, just go back to bounce. Sorry. So we'll break that high here. Let's see if there's going to be a failure. If we go back to the 4 hours, I will look normally if you look on the 4 hours, and I'm going to draw another level here. Okay, what I'm looking at this area and this one. So what happened is we broke 2 days ago. Below it, we'll come back up, hit the range, come back down, hit the bottom of the range, no failure. Come back up strong at once at 4 hours and hit it down, and 50% of it hold the 20 moving average, and now we're coming back up. What we'll be looking for, we're looking for a pullback, retest, and continuation back up. I will be buyer above this swing after it's complete. So it can go further, but if it goes down, then I will be limit buy here, buy stop above this level. We'll be looking between 1 to 1 between the 20 moving average and whatever how much you can go for. Also, I need to be looking where possibly we can go to. Possibly 29, 30. 30 level I think is going to be very interesting, and I'm going to put that up here for now. Around this level, let's see that level is going to be hit or not. Just above the 86, probably 88. 88, you know, the 88 is quite famous percentage of U-turn. So if that increase and go back up on the 4 hours, that would be good indication bound getting stronger. However, you keep your eyes on the bound news, British news, because of Brexit and all the stuff is going on at the moment between UK and Europe. If you look left here, we have a nice level to look at. We have some resistance, break, supported, but start feeding away. Test it one, twice, and have a failure. Will come back down. So possibility we retesting it again, definitely on the book. So we coming slowly, gently coming back up until we even touch this trend line. Is a bigger time frame trend line weekly. If I go there, you see that we have a couple of touches on the weekly. We broke below there. Looks like a failure on the weekly, not in the smaller time frame, guys. In a weekly, look like there's a failure down here coming back up, and we smack in the middle right now. So that's the high, and that's the low, and we kind of right in the middle between up this level and this level. So yeah, just keep your eyes on the news, listen to the news, try to make sure that you understand what's going on. 3 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks probably. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna hit that 130 very soon, in 2 3 weeks time, or maybe 1 week. But this momentum is up. However, still you have to keep your eyes on dollar. If the dollar becomes strong, then pound probably going to feed away, coming back down, as at least for a pullback. Until dollar become weak again, pound getting strong is like the moon and the sun that don't align with each other like eclipse. So if dollar is weak, pound is strong at the same moment, that's a good buying. That's a good signal. But if his dollar is strong and pound is strong, they're going nowhere. One of them have to give up. You know to see some momentum in the market. I hope that clear for you. And yeah, let's move on quickly. It's Friday. Um, Very interesting. We see cable is going up, but pound yen is going down on the day. That's indicating yen is getting strong. Look like yen is cashing in. So possible return back to the range. So let me just draw that for you, if in case if you didn't see it. Okay, so what happened here? Let me just extend a little bit more because it looks like it's going to hold here for a while. Look it. There you go. So what happened is, guys, we broke out of this swing 1 2 3, then retest it, come back up, retest it one more time, come back up. So we're really between here and there. There's not much of gap. Here it was accelerating. It started to slow down. Possible feeding away to come back down here. So overall, we're looking for a 1 2 3, probably three a little bit lower. If yen getting strong, stock going down, then that's the play with pound yen alone. If it's pound getting strong and yen is strong, we're going nowhere. Pound Aussie showing very lovely momentum. As I talked every time, I said that, guys, I'm looking for a failure. I'm looking for a wick down here at this level, which is indeed achieved. Look like a V shape. Probably going to be another small nose coming out of it. Then we'll retest these highs again one more time. So buying above closing until you reach this level is a good idea. Your risk should be low that day or the 4 hour, whatever you're trading. But remember that inside the day is going to be a lot of pullbacks and stuff. So don't say that, oh, I long it, but I lost because my stop loss is like 50 pips. But if you want to trade for the long term, that's what the big trader does. They buy above here and they hold for the next support, like here. Then after that, they hold for the next support. It is resistant, but it is supporting the price. That's why I call it, both of them is support. It depends where is the price going. It doesn't matter where the price coming from, the bottom or the top. This price will be supported because it does support it. It did indeed support it in the past. Okay. Moving on quickly. Pound New Zealand is doing the same thing. We have a failure like below it. We are above the range now. We're going back to the range as well. There is a range here. If we take this, put it all together right in there, you see that we have a failure, a two failure below. I'm probably gonna continue failure again halfway, then break through. So let's see if that is gonna be actually successful. We'll come back to the bigger range and we'll try to challenge the highs of that range. Then probably we'll coming back up, go inside that big trend line. We'll hold that trend line down momentum. We're trying to break above. We're right in between. So definitely is going to be range before we see any proof of uptrend. Bound CAD still in a momentum here of failure. We have a W, a lovely W here. We'll break out of it nicely, retesting, come back up, come back down. Looks like we're making another W, but CAD was strong a little bit last couple of days. Now become weaker. Friday looks like we're closing on a positive note. If we go back to the weekly, let's see what happened to the weekly. So come back down, come back up. We're looking for break higher. So above this 3 week, if you draw a line there, above it, we're probably going to be looking for a measure move, equal measure move. So we're looking for 1 2 3 around this level. Okay. Um, Bowen Swiss, I don't really want to keep talking about because I don't really trade it, but for you guys, we have a failure many times here. Midway is your support, and we have a below failure. So it's been hitting this resistance or support level all the time. Here, your job is to find momentum on a low time frame to bounce back up, and then come back to the higher. So above this 3 week, if you draw a line there, above it, we're probably going to be looking for a measure move, equal measure move. So we're looking for 1 2 3 around this level. Okay. and break through, you exit, wait for confirmation, then you buy above the breakthrough candle. Okay, overall we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, probably come back up again and retesting and continue. All right, guys, thanks very much for being here, and all the best this weekend. Enjoy, have a good time. Hopefully it's going to be sunny in your country, wherever you are. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and like, leave a comment, ask me questions, and I'll be happy to reply to you. Thanks very much. Have a great day. Bye.